When I talk about getting started, what I'm talking about is kind of the inability to pull the trigger. We all know that feeling where we know what we should do, but for some reason we just can't commit to doing it. Whether you call that paralysis by analysis or whatever name you want to give it, it's just overwhelming and it can make you feel really, really anxious, right? Hey, what is up guys? This is Brett here for BrettDev.com and welcome back to the channel. Now, today in this video, I've come over to one of my favorite places in Chiang Mai. It's called Baan Tawai Village. And the reason I'm over here is I want to take you guys around, firstly, and show you what it's all about. But I also want to address a topic that has been coming up over and over again, and that is the topic of getting started. So many of you guys are finding it difficult to pull the trigger, whether that be through starting your own online business, whether that be through making a move abroad. So today I'd like to address it, and I'd also like to show you Baan Tawai. You see, here's the thing. Most of us have been so conditioned throughout our lives to believe that failure is a bad thing that we are absolutely terrified of it. And because of this, what we essentially try and do is prevent it at all costs. We try to overanalyze absolutely everything, whether that be, like I say, starting our business, whether that be making a big change in our lives. We try and nitpick and plan out every little small detail so that we don't make a mistake. The problem here, however, is that that's simply not possible. An analogy that I like to use when I'm explaining this to people is, if you think about your objective and your end goal like you were a wood carver. Okay, when a wood carver starts out, when he's sitting there and he's looking at a big block of wood and he's getting ready to make a table, a chair, a carving, whatever it might be, he doesn't know exactly, detail for detail, how he's going to create the end result ahead of time. Sure, he might have some rough idea how it's going to turn out, but there are so many different variables that can impact his work, whether that be the quality of his tools. If his chisel's too blunt, it might affect how he approaches the carving. The temperature, the weather could affect how the wood behaves. Even the carpenter himself may be going through a stressful period of time, maybe having some issues in his life where he can't quite focus properly. But if he let these things hold him up, if he said, okay, well, I'm not going to make a move, I'm not going to take action until my chisel's perfect, until the weather is perfect, until my life is perfect, he would never get started and he would never take action and progress towards creating the masterpiece that he can create. The minute he takes that first step, those infinite possibilities of what could go wrong, what could go right, they all evaporate and disappear. Instead, what he's left with is a block of wood, a carving that has already been started. And from that point going forward, he can then make decisions about how he's going to proceed. In other words, he can begin to bring his project to life one step at a time. Try and think of the decisions you make in your life like you were the wood carver, okay? You're gonna fall down, you're gonna have to get back up, but the only way you can get back up is if you are moving forward to begin with, okay? You have to take that initial step to be able to course correct, to be able to make adjustments, to be able to step back and look at the big picture, look at that carving that you've got right there and say, okay, it looks like shit now. I've just started, it's not really working, but let me see what I can change. Let me see how I can tweak it, and let me see how over time I can get the end result that I'm looking for. So this is kind of like the main street. There's a little canal that goes down the middle of the road and there's shops on either side. However, like I said, Baan Tawai is an entire village. So you can go out and you can drive for like 10, 15 minutes around the surrounding area and you'll see signs that say like Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, and the different zones create different types of stuff, right? So some zones will create like furniture, other zones will create like, well, around here it's kind of like all smaller stuff and like decorative items that you can kind of hang on the walls and things like that. Although it isn't only that, there's a mix of stuff in the main little strip right here. I'm not entirely sure what these guys are doing here, but it looks like they're putting up this this cloth, this material across the walkway. I'm guessing to shield against the sun, to maybe get more people to come out. In case you're wondering, by the way, guys, like why the fuck am I wearing a jacket? The temperature here has got to be about 35 or 36 degrees, and this is actually like a UV jacket that I picked up the other day. Apparently it's supposed to reflect the sun and actually keep you cool and stop you from burning. It's doing a pretty good job of it, to be fair. I wore it all the way down here on the motorbike, and yeah, if I was walking around without this, my skin would be burning. It gets so hot here you can literally smell yourself cooking. It's disgusting. So yeah, that's why I'm wearing a jacket and a hat for the video. That's all for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope that it's helped some of you out. If you are struggling with getting started, and if you are struggling with paralysis by analysis, then come on over and join us inside of Nomad School. We've got a great community over there. We're all helping each other out. And also, if you like the tour of Baan Tawai, I have done a video down here before. I made it a few years ago, but if you want to see more of the place, then click here, because this video is kind of dedicated solely to Baan Tawai. That's all for now, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.